Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. This is a fairly short video and I will explain the title at the end. July is the hottest month in the United States, with the three hottest Julys being 1936, 1901, and 1934. July in the United States tended to be considerably hotter prior to the year 1960. Last year, afternoon temperatures during July were well below average. Today is July 13th, which is frequently one of the hottest days of the year in the United States. The hottest July 13th in the United States occurred in 1954. The average maximum temperature was 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius. The second hottest July 13th occurred in 1936. On July 13th, 1936 and 1954, 56% of temperature readings in the United States were over 95F or 35C. Compare that to last year when just over 10% of readings were that hot. July 13th, 1954 was an incomprehensibly hot day in the United States. Kansas reached 120 degrees. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Texas were over 110. 29 states were over 100 degrees and 44 states were over 90 degrees. Recent generations of Americans have never experienced heat like this and are unfamiliar with it. During July 1954, the United States was experiencing drought almost from coast to coast. The newspapers reported almost the entire nation sizzled Tuesday in a record-breaking heat wave, with temperatures hitting 110 degrees in many sections of the Midwest. The Midwest never gets that hot anymore, and over the past decade, even 100-degree temperatures have been rare. July 13, 1936 was also extremely hot. California, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, and Minnesota were all over 110 degrees. 30 states were over 100 degrees and 42 states were over 90 degrees. Once again, recent generations of Americans have no experience with this sort of heat. More than 1,000 people died from the heat and drought, and the heat wave was not confined to the United States. Toronto had record temperatures, and the Canadian Prairie was 112 degrees. There was a near riot at the Works Progress Administration office in New York. People were coming to collect their paychecks, and many people were passing out in the heat. As I mentioned earlier, last year July afternoon temperatures in the United States were well below average. On this date last year, California was over 120 degrees and Utah reached 110. 7 states were over 100 degrees and 29 states were over 90 degrees. There were hot temperatures in the West, but most of the country was below average temperatures. The press said the heat wave in the West was almost certainly caused by climate change, and they said that Death Valley, California reached 130 degrees. Yale University reported that the 130 degrees at Death Valley was the hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth. But as is usually the case, Yale Climate is simply spreading disinformation. This week in 1913, Death Valley was over 130 degrees 3 times, including the world record temperature of 134 on July 10th. The press and academia are relying on the belief that Americans do not know history. They think they can propagate any sort of misinformation they want and not get called out. George Orwell said, "The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their understanding of their own history." The good news, though, is that Toto remembers the 1930s, like when he got caught in that tornado in Kansas with Dorothy. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, Caesar, Toki, and Upala on the web at RealClimateScience.com.